Man. And Lauren in the house. Guys, Lauren gets here day after tomorrow. We are stoked. She's going to be here all week, going to be leading. We're really excited. We were talking about songs for the weekend, and it turns out that both of us had kind of just the same song kind of resonating in our hearts and our minds as we think about just getting an opportunity to see people get baptized this weekend and to celebrate with them, to open up the Word and talk about what it means to be authentic and inclusive. And even this morning, reading in Psalm 103, kind of a side note of that the Lord is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, that He forgives all of our iniquities, and just thinking about that, and then that being juxtaposed with maybe sometimes that internal condition of forgiveness, but that we wrestle with. And as we were reading in Mark this morning, I'm just continually struck by the story of how Jesus calms the sea. And not in the traditional way, though it is unbelievable to think about the disciples and how they not only would watch Jesus heal the physical body, but now He's commanding the elements, the wind, the rain, and telling them, be peace, still, slow. And so with that, though, there's this moment that I think we can all relate to that's maybe one of the most inviting things that speaks to the character of our God, and that's that when the sea is getting crazy, when it's getting to this point, and this is collaborated in the Gospel of Luke, that the boat is being overwhelmed by water, that they're panicking and that they're scared and that they're wanting to run and hide and just wondering what to do next, that they then go to Jesus and they find Him asleep. And it's kind of one of those things where you have to imagine what that moment would be like. And maybe you've been there where you don't know how you're going to make the house payment, or you've just got that phone call, or you've been trying your best and doing all the right things, but your grades just aren't adding up to what you think they should, or you believe you parented in the right way, but your kids are still making that decision. They're still holding you at arm's length. They've still rejected the things that you felt like were the family moral values that you were bringing them up with, or the Christianity that you longed for them to come and know. And Jesus is asleep. He's asleep in this season, right? Like, does He know that we're in quarantine? Does He know that this has been like the longest year for a lot of us ever? That it just has not only been slow in a good way, but it's been slow in just this is painful, and how long will it last? And so they come to Jesus, they find Him asleep, and then they ask this question, do you not even care? And this is what's amazing to me, is Jesus gets up and He calms the seas and He does all those things, but the fact that they would feel the comfortability, and that God in the Bible, that there is an open series of laments, in fact a book called Lamentations, but that there is a series of men and women who come to God and basically say, what are you doing? Psalm 73 is that way, where Asaph, David's worship pastor, goes, God, what are you doing? That Job would ask, what are you doing? That Elijah would ask, what are you doing? That Abraham would wonder, what are you doing? That Moses would wonder, what are you doing? That the entire nation of Israel would be like, do you not care? That we can go to God and say, do you not care? And simultaneously know that He does, but to be able to be honest and authentic, and then listen gently for His response. And I think about that, it's a reflection when He says, "O ye of little faith." I don't think that that's you need to trust me more. I think it's that, man, we don't see the larger picture. I mean, those of us that are parents, we see that, right? That our kids make momentary decisions, not seeing the bigger picture of how to spend their allowance, or how valuable their education is, or that friend choice that they're making. We can see the ramifications of what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But then somehow I kind of want to control God and dictate to God the things that He should do and shouldn't do in my life. And maybe I just need a bigger picture of who He is, of His power. And so pray for that for you today. Praying for that for me as well, that we would see the goodness and graciousness of God. I encourage you to go check out Psalm 103 as a side note to our reading today, and just be encouraged by not just what God does externally, but who God is, what His character is, what His demeanor is, what His relation to us is. And so God, I thank You that I can come to You and I can say that I'm frustrated, that I'm depressed, that I'm annoyed, that I'm anxious, that I'm angry, that I don't understand, God, that You are willing and big enough and strong enough to handle my honest feelings. And so, God, I pray that I wouldn't make you just some sort of repetition, some sort of atomic habit, or just a thing that I do throughout my day that provides me some sort of rhythm and comfort that's indifferent or unemotional. But God, I would know that you are slow to anger, that you're abounding in steadfast love, that you are full of forgiveness and grace, but you're also full of power. And that you are sovereign, and that you're in control, and that all things were created by you, that all things are sustained by you, that in the end all things will be restored and recreated by you. So God, I bring the real me. God, I've been super impatient. This week I've been entitled, I've been seeking praise and gratitude. And God, in it I've been seeking to exalt myself. And I've been kind of wondering, are you there? Are you listening? Are you actually doing something? But Father, I know that you are doing the deep, hard, internal work. And so God, I surrender my frustrations, and I also surrender my heart. I want to know you. I want to trust you more. And so God, help my faith to grow. And help me to know beyond a shadow of doubt that what you do, move, act, say is good and true. We love you. It's in your son's name I pray. Amen. Love you guys. Praying for you. Pray for me. See you tomorrow.